So we're here with a large number of older systems, adding something a little bit different to the EuroGamer Expo. They've never had a retro-only zone before, so we've come along to show off some of the machines that we have in our collection, and to try and promote the event that we have in Blackpool in November.
Best game ever. As I said to you before we started filming, I think it's fantastic to see all of these machines here, unemulated and just physical, getting to grips with the old joypads and such.
I think that's emulation's great to keep the games alive, and people do get an opportunity to carry on playing games that they probably wouldn't any other way. But it's not the same as getting your old Amiga joystick out, playing your Competition Pro, and feeling the proper tactile way of we used to play games. None of this controllers and keyboard rubbish. Get a proper joystick in your hands and a bit of sensible soccer action. It's a different experience.
In fact, one of the first things I did when I popped in here about 20 minutes ago, I saw that IK Plus was on there, and I just spent about 10 minutes playing it. Absolutely fantastic.
It's funny you mention IK Plus, because at the Replay Expo last year, we had Archie McLean, who wrote the game.
Wow.
He came along just to mingle and meet people and talk to them about the games that he's produced. And we ran a competition on IK Plus with the winner got some prizes and a trophy, but the great thing he got was the chance to play against Archie McLean in
wow, I would have loved that.
We had a final on the stage. Archie kicked his ass as far as I remember.
I'm sure.
But yeah, it was great to see the creator of the game and a super fan, going head to head.
Absolutely fantastic.
This is the machine that changed my life, the Spectrum Plus 2. Didn't know I was getting it for Christmas. Parents bought it me for Christmas. It was amazing. Oh, I've been sitting for one for ages. Oh, I got so much fun out of this. I got so much fun out of this machine.
What was the best
game? Played it to death, man. Played it to death.
What was the best game?
Gauntlet. Yeah, got that and a copy of Gauntlet for Christmas. Okay, Peter from Retro Software. How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
We just had a chat with one of your colleagues, who was telling us about Blurt. Now, I'll be honest with you, when I heard it, I thought that rings a bell. He said, oh, it can't ring a bell. Whole new project. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we're hoping to launch it at this year's Replay 2011, and effectively our community is all about. It grew out of the Acorn BBC Micro online community, and effectively we had some really good coders in our group, all of whom kept saying that they really wish they'd been able to actually create a project back in the golden era of computer software. Unfortunately, they missed the boat. So at which point me and Dave got working, decided, well, there's no reason why we couldn't actually release games now. So we've managed to get together a whole load of people to basically work together, come up with the best routines, create new PC software, and we've, as Dave told you earlier, we've reverse engineered quite a lot of old games, created sort of new assembly routines, to the point now that we're creating some games which most people can't believe are actually running on a Beeb. They look that good. So.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that does look fantastic. I mean, the whole sort of underground retro scene, I mean, I've seen like sort of online games, people are creating games for Spectrum, profitable as well. I mean, are you a profit sort of a developer as well, or is it all freeware, or?
Retro Software is 100% not-for-profit.
Yeah.
The BBC Micro and the Acorn, which is the area that we're specifically targeting, as opposed to a number of the other software retro publishers that are out there, are targeting the Spectrum and the Commodore, and they're a much bigger community. So because we're such a small group in comparison, we're generally 100% not-for-profit, so anything we do charge is ploughed immediately straight back in again, and it's purely for the cost of the media and stuff like that we're doing. That said, we've got plenty of free downloadable titles which are all perfectly immediately usable by emulators, or you can copy them to a disk and use them immediately with a normal beeb. So yeah, we've got about 8 or 9 titles I think available for free downloads, and we've got 3 released titles as of today, which you can see at the website.
So it's purely just pure passion, that's all it is. It's down to sort of like, you know, as you say, you want to be part of the sort of golden era, the 80s, 90s, you know, that sort of early 80s, early 90s. I mean, looking at that now, I'm amazed that is actually coming out of a BBC. I mean, do you get a shot of that on there? I mean, I had a BBC Micro, it was, you know, and that is just fantastic. I mean, how long did it take to create something like on the beeb using the technology you've been using with it?
Well, the guy who created this is a guy called Rich Talbot Watkins, and he actually, up until recently, was working for Sony, writing PlayStation software. He's one of our best programmers. I mean, he knows the BBC Micro inside out. So this is actually a game that he originally started writing sort of back in the kind of tail end of the commercial era, and he tried to get some of the software publishers to pick it up then, but he couldn't really get much of an interest, so him and his partner basically just shelved it. He picked it up again about, I don't know, 6 months ago, so this is probably another couple of months' work on top. But generally, the time taken, it can be several months, but it's usually because most of our guys are doing it all in their spare time, so it's purely about how much spare time they can find to do these projects. But I mean, for instance, we've got another project called Hard Hat Harry, which we've probably got a disc lying around for somewhere. That one was written in the space of a month by another one of our really fantastic coders, and he's at university.
A month.
A month. He's at university.
Doesn't happen very often these days in games development.
Doesn't happen very much at all. And he's away at university, and he got the Christmas holidays. Decided that he had a month there that he wasn't really doing an awful lot with, so he decided that he was going to create a game in the space of 1 month to fit between his 2 terms and semesters. So he set himself the deadline challenge of doing it within a month.
And he did it.
He did it. It's fantastic. It looks just like a 1983 release, which with graphics that even he describes as terrible. But it's actually one of our most addictive titles. We're still getting people coming back now saying, "Oh my God, how do you get past level 3?"
So you're getting a pretty good reception then.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We found. I mean, we try to come along to as many of these retro shows as we can, and we have had people actually competing against each other. We had one couple in particular who we couldn't get off one of our titles called Crystal Connection because they kept coming back, barging off anyone else who was on in order to try and beat their partner's score, which was entertaining to say the least.
I mean, in light of sort of like, you know, multi-million sort of developments, you know, games like Call of Duty and Battlefield, you know, the big boys and that. I mean, are you surprised at the sort of the level of excitement around retro gaming and retro programming? I mean, it's really sort of blown up in the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, I think basically a lot of it is about the fact that the older games, because they didn't have anywhere near the amount of resources that modern games do, have to distill all their gameplay into something that you can get into and get playing rather quickly. That, combined with the fact that, of course, everybody who's a modern gamer now tends to remember the older systems because they grew up on them. So they've always got that nostalgia factor. Yeah, so I can perfectly imagine why people like retro software.
Well, I mean, thanks a lot, Peter, talking to us. Really appreciate it, and best of luck with all the future projects.
You're welcome.
Fantastic.
Thank
Cheers.
you very much.
If anyone wants to find out a little bit more about Replay Expo, they can go to replayexpo.com, or if they want to find out about Replay events, which is what we do, Replay Expo is one of the things that we do. We also offer smaller parties, you know, if somebody wants a birthday party and they want some systems for that, or corporate events, team building days, that kind of things. Replayevents.com is the site to get more information on the other things that we offer.